Can France? Can they contain France? Will they contain France? A major new offensive is building up in northern. Oh, and it looks like Austria has joined the war. All right, so what's happening here? There's guaranteeing the independence. Okay, so Great Britain neutral in the conflict so far, and we'll see where things go. But the war, it does seem like the main front of the war has been a little bit in the ocean. Not the ocean, but like the Mediterranean. The French side easily taking control. Is Venice in the war? No, Venice is neutral, just doing their own Venetian thing. Yes, and so French domination of this conflict so far. Let's see. Most MP games are someone playing in it. Honestly, I've really enjoyed watching an MP game from an all-seeing observer point of view. So yeah, if anyone wants to see any element of it, definitely let me know. If you're like, oh hey, what's going on in this part of the world? Because we have that ability. We can see everything. Obviously, don't be like, I'm one of the players and I want to know exactly where the other player. But like, be like, oh, what's happening? Like we can see mostly everything. And so yeah, the question is, all right, the French have sent forces back west. Now, there could a very rare possibility that I don't think will happen. But you could have a situation where people would try to pour in enough money into Spain to make it worth their while to try to declare war, to open up a second front. I feel like that would wreck Spain completely, destroy their stability and a lot of other really negative modifiers. But and so I don't think that's going to happen. I'm just thinking long term, like 5 years from now, if the war is still going on. But we do have this major stalemate. Looks like the Ottomans have launched a new offensive. They're trying to grab Ferrara. Ferrara. Is that where Ferraris come from? Because like is Ferrara, like Ferrara, Ferrari. That would be the plural, maybe. And let's see. Is that Starburst stack in Spain rebels? Yes. Oh, well, not anymore. They've been wiped out. So yeah, they had a lot of rebels in Spain, and they've been wiped out. Maybe other people supporting the rebel groups in Spain to try to drain some French forces. Württemberg exists. And is technically involved in this war. Oh, but I bet they're an AI, right? Yeah. Okay, so that's why. Like, Württemberg's like, hey, I'm helping, guys, I'm helping. I'm not even sieging down this fort, but I'm helping. I'm a distraction. But so far, the war has been for control of Italy. France is like, oh hey, wouldn't it be a shame if I just made an entire new force? And they can do that. France has the manpower. Let's take a look at manpower levels. Just unquenchable. Or unquenching? No, fully quenching, unending. We then look at the main players of the Eastern Alliance in this war. Ottomans are running a little bit low. They've got a huge force, but they have to rebuild after each major fight. The Commonwealth is not involved in the war yet, and so that could be interesting. If the Commonwealth were to... I think they wouldn't be able to make a move right away because they are allied. They're not allied. Alright, the Commonwealth is sitting this one out. A major player in the East is not involved in the war, which means that, but they have their forces on those borders. So that has got to be, I mean, for both sides, they've got to be looking at that. Maybe there are some backroom deals of the Commonwealth reaching out to the Ottomans saying, hey, what's it worth it to you? And another major battle! Alright, we have a major battle here in the third battle of Ferrara. And the Ottomans are pouring everything in, but then the French are able to just come out of the woodwork. They've got stronger morale. Really strong at this point, 7 to 5.9. Alright, and we have Philippe von Stiel and Georges de Saint-Esprit. I think the French are going to win this one. I just don't think the Eastern Alliance, I don't know what really to call them, not central powers. But, I mean, it is Prussia and the Ottomans, so... They're pouring everything they have into this battle. Let's try to... let's jump in and see what the casualties are. Every day we're casualtying. Oh, just massive, massive losses on both sides. And... the question is... I mean, I still feel like it... Oh, and the French have more. The French just have so many men that they can pour into these battles. Russia is in the war. Russia is in the war. And 90,000! Oh my... Oh, so many of them are dying, though. Alright, the morale is holding. Alright, looks like the French are losing more morale. It does look like... And the French do retreat! The French do retreat. This is the breakout opportunity for the Eastern powers. If they're gonna make a breakthrough, now is the time. They've got to finish it up. It looks like they'll probably put Milan under siege. They're gonna try to take Ferrara. Ferrara is deep and in trouble. This is the breakthrough that the Eastern powers need. They might, if they can break through in northern Italy, they can start pulling through, try to maybe siege down some of this stuff. The downside is France has this near impenetrable line, I believe, of just forts and mountains and hills. But the question is, if they can take control of northern Italy, then maybe they can shift and pivot their forces to the north here and try to put pressure on these lowlands. Because that's where a actual victory against France is going to come, from punching into the north and taking Paris. But if the war isn't... I mean, the war is to contain France, not... like, take them out. And so I think we're just going to see fighting in Italy. Because if they can hold the key parts of Italy, and then if they can kick France back and win those fights, like they've now dispersed back, the army coalesces on the fight in the battle and then falls back. They all have their little areas that they fall back into. But that was a major victory for the Ottoman forces and the Ottoman side of this conflict. Oh man. Massive battle. Took literally like 4 to 5 countries in one battle to beat France, and that's the major thing. That is the weak link in this alliance chain. If France... the question now is, like, France is a very aggressive player at the moment. Are they a good negotiator? Are they a good diplomat? They've been able to keep the Commonwealth out of the war. But the question is, where's the breakthrough going to happen? Now, they're very... like, because they're so centralized... they don't have colonies that others can try and snipe, so they're in a great position there. It's really just a fight for... Oh, what do we have here? Something just happened. Alright, so it looks like peace in the east with the Netherlands. And the Netherlands could be, I think, probably disbanded their main armies. It looks like the Netherlands could be preparing for a major war.
So, Sir Squire, Jamie had to leave, but Arcanus is coming in to take over for him.
Oh, all right. Excellent. All right. So that means Great Britain will have a new player. And the question there is going to be how that's going to change their dynamic. Oh, it's Arcanus. All right. And so, yeah, it's going to be interesting. It looks like the Netherlands might be gearing up to enter this conflict, probably on the side of France. Seems like they are pretty good friends. And then the question will then be just where will England factor into this? A new player for England? Either maybe means a doubling down on their sort of neutral rule. It seems like they're neutral, like the US is neutral at the start of every world war. So this will be interesting to see. Alright, we've jumped back in the Ottomans. Great Britain still neutral, guaranteeing Austrian independence. But they're busy fighting another war. So, to expand into India. And so there's plenty of room, well, some of the humans are being consumed, but there's plenty of room in India still. Several provinces, AI provinces. And it looks like Omani, Western India, has definitely jumped up in size. So we do have action in the east, the Indian subcontinent. Mughals expanding against Ming, Just saying like, hey, Mughals. Or hey, Ming, I mean. I don't know. It's Mughal time. There could be some tensions between Russia and Mughals. But I think the British have other things they can look at instead of looking at this European war. But if the Netherlands do end up joining the war, then I think at that point we could say it's a world war, because you'll have 4, 5 continents involved, or whatever, 1, 2, 3, 4. How many continents are there? Who knows? But France, they can just pump out people. They are... You know what that means! Ole! Thank you so much, CPM 4001, for the follow. Hope you enjoyed the follow dance. Hope you enjoyed the follow song. And hope you... what do I say? Oh, gosh. Hope you've been enjoying the stream and hope you continue to do so. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Alright, so Württemberg is actually... Oh, wait, no, they still probably have... They still only have their 6,000 troops, but they're still helping. So France has fallen back to this defensive line outside of Italy. But they do control... I mean, these are, yeah, key positions. But that was a major turning point in the conflict, the third battle of Ferrara. It took 3 attempts, third time was the charm. And Russia has fully arrived. Let's look at Russian manpower. Maybe that is the secret. It's going to be a piece of the puzzle. You know what that means! I should have probably turned this off for the stream, but I forgot. Ole! Welcome, Slowcone43, for the follow. Hope you enjoyed the follow dance. Hope you enjoyed the follow song. Hope you've been enjoying the stream, and hope you continue to do so. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So we're going to take a look at all the manpower of the main belligerents in this war. So we've got Russia with their 90,000. So not bad. They still have reserves to play their part. The Prussians are not running low, but like at the midpoint of their manpower. The Ottomans are starting to feel a little pressure on their manpower. But they've won a major victory and they have allies to make up for it. Austria, which is being guaranteed by Great Britain, is in the war. They don't have a lot of people, so it's a minor role. That could... oh, is another... It looks like major battle, major battle. All right. The French were able to maneuver around and retake Milan. Not quite sure if there was a fight involved. But it looks like... Let's see, we'll move this over. The age of absolutism has begun. All right. Does look like a few skirmishes by the French have been won recently. And here's a major battle forming up in Parma. They want that Parmesan to help with their spaghetti. I don't know. It would be good. I mean, just help win the war. Ooh, France is willing to cede that territory before it really sinks into a major battle. The Eastern forces coalescing and then falling back. So it does look like it is a bit of a... It's a stalemate that favors the Ottomans for now. Let's see. Well, I'm the former Spanish player for this MP, so I'm not enjoying seeing what's happened to the country, but otherwise having a grand time. Also, the dance was great. Oh, you're very welcome. Very welcome. But I mean, yeah, Spain... The goofy part is it looks like they're going to have to rely on... Oh, okay, so that's what the Netherlands can help with. That's right. The Netherlands doesn't actually have to enter the war to help put down these rebel forces. And it looks like another major battle in Mantua. Ooh, and the French, once again, falling back in defeat. It looks like they're not letting them become major battles. But the question, I think, there is just how much manpower is being lost. And the Ottomans are out of manpower. All right. Austrians, out of manpower. Prussians, out of manpower. Russia still has a lot of manpower. So it looks like Russia is going to have to step up. But another major battle. And so it could be a French ploy. The French could be baiting them into battles they can win, the Eastern forces, knowing that France has the manpower. Because they have the manpower recovery. But if you're this other side, you have to take those chances. You have to try to beat down these French stacks. And so like they're coming out of penalty, the French fall back again. It also could be that they're drawing them in. That the French, because they have fought an indecisive battle that it was technically a French loss at Parma. They fought another indecisive battle that was technically a French loss at Mantua, and another at Cremona. And then they've fallen back, potentially ceding Milan, but then they have forces. But you have the Russians. The Russians now taking a very forward level in the conflict, trying to fight it out here. And I love the little sprites that they have. The little, are they like Strekli or something? Oh, and it's another battle, Mantua. All right, once again, thousands dead on both sides. And so, yeah, if the French don't even try to move in reinforcements, then they're definitely... Yeah, no, the French just... They put up a large force. Whoa. They put up a large force. They let the enemy attack. It's not necessarily in a good position for the French. The enemy comes in. They fight each other. They both lose about the same number of troops. Then the French retreat. It's seeking out weaknesses in the enemy lines, but it's also got to be... it's got to be draining manpower. And then war won't go well because we don't have strong Cuba. So there is, yeah, Cuba has been a major, let's see, I guess they're, oh, they are still, are they a person? Are they French? Not French, Dutch. Yes. Cuba has been a major player in this game. I think they've even, like, sieged Stockholm or something. They show up in they are the like, Gandalf Rohan of this playthrough. When you least expect it, the Cubans arrive. It's sort of like Red Dawn. If you've seen the documentary Red Dawn, it tells you the history of the United States in the 80s. We all have family members who are part of the Wolverines. When Cuba maliciously and unexpectedly parachuted into the middle of Colorado. It's a great campy movie if you've never seen it. Alright, so once again we have major losses on both sides. But it looks like this is, okay, the French, they've waited, they've baited, they've attritioned, and now they are attacking. But it looks like the Ottomans have a few more cards up their sleeves. It looks like this could be the full force. Alright, so this is some of the French forces. No, everyone is committed. Everyone is committed. This could be overplayed. France may have overplayed. Or underplayed. I mean, their strategy may just not have worked. Whoever wins this, I think, is going to get some momentum in northern Italy. And it is another French defeat. That is a major setback for France. France not running out of people, but it still takes time to rebuild their forces. It still takes time, and that's going to give the Eastern forces major breathing room in Italy. It's going to give them, I mean, they've unsieged the Papal States for the most part. They're sieging down Florence. That's the breathing room they need. The French, of course, unassailable position that they retreat back towards. But that was the victory that the East needed. And I think the French, the strategy was working. And then right at the last moment, the Eastern forces just have too many forces. There's just too many nations still together. And a very large British force. Well, take a look at Britain. Maybe see what they're up to. They're making a lot of money. They are gaining inflation, probably just due to gold. Promoting investments, yes, okay. They could take out lots of loans. They have a very strong budget. They don't have a lot of expenses, and they don't have a lot of money. Where's that money going? We don't know. But they are... Oh, we do know. It's going to somebody. Oh, they might be paying... It looks like they're playing both sides. I don't know. That seems... Alright, Sweden, Netherlands, France, Prussia. Alright, so Great Britain is playing both sides. This is like Iran, Iraq, and they are the US selling arms to both sides of the conflict. They're helping out Prussia, they're helping out France. Probably good in the long run, because you don't want a weaker Prussia. They don't necessarily want a weakened France. But let's look at the French financials. Okay, yeah, so France is bleeding out their eye holes and stuff, like just... The coins are coming out, and they need the cash, and they're getting the cash. So that's how they're able to field such a massive army. They're actually not that high over the force limit though. But that is another side of this conflict that we have to look at. We've got the manpower side. The East is running low on manpower, and looks like they're building even more forces. And then the West has the manpower but needs the cash. And so you do have the British making allies on both sides. The question is, are people going to resent them because, like, hey, you're helping me, but you're helping them? Or are they going to just say, like, hey, no, it's very understandable that you want to back us and them to keep this going? And, very bad too. This is an awful war, especially with Calico's subs. They're always completely inept diplomatically. That's the weird part, right? You've got your